everybody, my name is Imoh, and I would like to welcome you to Grow and Glow podcast. Welcome to another episode. I am here again in your faces, no more dragging. Yes, I said it again. All right, guys, today we'll be speaking on a very nice topic that I see that is very important for every young person out there who is willing and ready to bloom in 2025 based on business, based on your personal development, and in general. So with me today, I have a guest, and he's gonna introduce himself. So please welcome Imoh DeAndre.
Hi everyone. I think I have to take off my glasses for this.
Before.
My name is Imoh DeAndre.
Yeah.
Professionally, I'm a startup consultant. I help businesses set up. I help manage businesses and also set up software projects. But I like to always say on the personal side, I love nature. I love to interact with nature, plants, animals. Nature is the way I'm able to rest and distressify from a very busy and fast world we live in. So yeah, and I'm happy to be your guest today.
All right, guys. So the topic of today is how to leverage relationships for success. Now we know when everybody hears relationship, it's not boy and girl. It is man and woman plus other people. So we are going to be speaking based on relationships in general, like work relationships, career-wise. So if you are willing to up your game in your career and network and build yourself up here, we are here for you today. So Imoh, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. How about you?
I'm a little bit hot. Abuja is Abuja, but well, all is well. So first of all, when we say build relationships, what do you mean? Because you go for all these conferences, everybody's like network, build relationship. You don't know where they'll take you to. Is it just the fear of if you don't meet this person and if you don't connect with this person, maybe he's your helper? What do you call that? He's your destiny helper. What does that involve?
Well, so the foundation of life was founded upon relationships, right? If we want to go a bit medieval, right? Before we have the civilized world we have now, family people were mostly living in communities. People were close knit, and in fact, it is also because of staying connected that the people who built the Tower of Babel said, "Let us remain here," because they loved each other's company. You cannot say, "Let us do a long-term project like the Tower of Babel without loving someone's company," right? It's because they enjoy each other's company. So the foundation of life has always been in relationships. You would mostly even see in nature that some grasses grow best around the kind of grasses that are the same with their species.
Oh, yeah, true.
And even animals move in the same species. Even the ones who tend to want to go alone, the ones who are in packs are more successful and in hunting. And they also live longer and are more healthy than the ones who go off on their own as they are lone pack, lone wolf, lone lion, and all of that. So life as a foundation, biologically, scientifically, and even biblically, has always been in relationships. If I want to summarize with the biblical standpoint, God created man in the garden, and then he had a relationship with man even before he created a woman, right? The Bible records that he always came down in the cool of the evening to fellowship with man. The Hebrew word there, it translates as relationship. He had a relationship with man to be able to even communicate. And one thing that always strikes me in that story is that when Adam was to name all the animals, it records that he named it according to what God had in mind to name them. So he could not have achieved that without a relationship, and relationship builds intimacy. So yeah, that's the power of relationships.
Okay, so you're saying just like young people are like, my friend betrayed me, I don't care right now, can I just move this on my own? So what I say is, in life we should not just try to do things on our own. We need to build relationships.
Sure.
We need to network. We need to have people of our kinds in our space.
Yes.
Right. So like, would you say that is like necessary for growth?
For sure. And while you were just asking that question, the quote that dropped in my head was, there's this African quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone.
If you want to go
if you want to go far, go in groups or go together. But that is funny because it can be two-sided. You can go far in the negative things. You can also go far in the positive things. So now the world is so much advent about community. But again, about what I said, the foundation of life, even before technology, was always in communities.
True.
So we are claiming that, oh, I have this Telegram community, I have this WhatsApp community. Guy,
Yeah.
it was the real African word. We were in villages, communities. That's really what they call it till this
And they
day. There are some
support
schools
you.
that are even named community
Community
secondary
school.
school. So you can see it
Yeah.
was lived, life was lived
Yeah.
in communities, and we were happier in communities because your bad day is my good day, and I can help give you some energy on your bad day. Tomorrow
Yeah.
might be my own negative day, and you are able to supply me energy. So it is smarter to stay in community. It is smarter to live in communities, but it also matters the kind of communities that you are in, because the right one can set you up for massive success, and the wrong one can take you backwards 100 steps.
Okay, so for us young people, see me, I'm young, so I'm young.
I'm
So
young.
for us young people,
Yes.
how can we position ourselves in the right places to get those right relationships, like right people for the relationships?
Yeah.
Like for me this year, I told myself I'm going to be going out. Last year I did it, but this year I want to be more intentional. I'm going to
Okay.
go out for events, not just I was invited kind of
Okay.
events, but events that when I go there, I'll meet with new people and have a great time, then connect with them. Not just I came, I saw, but I did not conquer.
Yeah.
So how can we young people put ourselves in the right place for the right relationships, for networking, for building our career?
All right. So first of all is to know yourself,
Okay.
right? Because I like to take you from my own story. You know, you're young in teenage programs, in maybe your school, your secondary school is organizing all of this stuff, bringing in guest speakers and all of that. Find
Yeah.
yourself, know yourself, all of that. But they
Meet
don't
up.
really tell you the how. And so
True.
we left college and everything, just jumping into the world and trying to find our own place, trying to find our own footing.
Yeah.
And one thing I did was I attended so many unnecessary events.
Unnecessary
Yes,
events.
that were not aligned to my passion, right?
Okay.
But that's the beautiful thing about life. No knowledge is wasted, right? One way or the other, one thing I learned or heard someone say on stage, it comes back into helping me. But time is a resource that cannot be taken back. So
Yeah.
it would have been better if those time were spent in the places that would have nurtured my hobbies and my interests. So the first place to start from is yourself. You don't need to know everything about yourself. You
For
only
sure.
need to know the next step, right? You don't need to know the whole journey. And for me at the time, I knew I loved to talk, right? I knew I loved speaking, I loved communicating with people. But at the time, right, because we live in a society where we do not know the end of the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So let's say a child is good with maybe some certain skills.
Yeah.
So there are two kinds of skills. I would say one that are outgoing, one that are a bit inside, or maybe you could call it introverted. So if a child starts maybe playing with bricks or arranging them, scattering them, you say, oh, he can be an engineer in the future,
Yeah.
or maybe someone who does manufacturing, because it is a visible skill.
Yeah.
But the ones who are a bit invisible, rather, it is very difficult to tell where that
What
child
it is.
is going. So for me, I had a lot of creative skills, arts. I used to draw comic books and even rent my comic books, and people will go, we take it. I remember
Really?
in primary school, I did that a lot. So it would have been best if I attended events that would have fanned the flames
That
of
flame.
that interest. But
True.
then I was jumping in and out of maybe media, maybe a band. I'm not. I really love the band because I used to play drums. But then again, those were not my major skills, and this is where a parent or guardian comes in, because
helps.
before the child even knows who they are, you can spot who they are, and you can help guide them. So yes, it's really important for any young person or even someone who is aged to focus their efforts on in places that would help fan the flames of who they really are.
Okay. So in finding who we are, we can know where to be. Now, the other thing I would like to also speak on would be the part of networking.
Yes.
So if we are leveraging relationships for success, business-wise, personal life-wise, you need to also know who to connect with, how to connect with them. So the first step is knowing yourself.
Yes.
The next step will be the main thing, which is the networking.
Yes.
So how can I, for example, I am introverted, or even the people who are extroverts, sometimes they vibe with everybody, but they don't connect with them.
That's true.
So how can we connect with people of like minds, or people we want to be like, or people we want to learn from?
I would still say start with yourself, because the first relationship you have is with yourself, and the quality of the relationship you will have with others is going to be to the extent of how great you have
Know
with
yourself.
yourself, right? And then to directly answer that, if you are able to start by researching, and
Okay.
it is still part of knowing yourself, because knowing yourself, introspection is research. You're researching to into deeper to really know who am I, what do I like, what don't I like, right? So
Yeah.
the outside part is external research. So let's say you're an artistic person and there's a talent you have and you want to express it. The next thing is to research about maybe events or places or communities that have that. And we in Africa, in Nigeria, mostly it's from the church. Because if you love drums, of course,
It's church.
the church is there. If you love to sing, the choir is there.
Yeah.
If you love camera, the media department is there, depending on
Kind of church
the
it
kind
is.
of church you are, right? So it is always, I've seen in life that opportunities are always around us. It's only about being open-minded to see those opportunities and accept them for what they are. Because let's be honest, if you're in a small church or in a small group, you will not like the furniture or the setting or even the football field because it doesn't have grass. It doesn't look like the Premier
Yeah,
League
sand.
grass, right? You get it's just sand. You have stones,
Hey.
right? So, but then you just have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And the part about strategic connecting or networking is the fact that if you don't even step into those communities or even take a step, you won't even know who is in that community. Because that's certain things. You might say, okay, this event is happening, and you can see the speakers on the flyer. But there are about 5,000 people coming to that event, and you only see 8 on the flyer. You don't know who is coming. You don't know who is inviting who. You don't know
Yeah.
whose flight was that day, and they just say, okay, I'm bored. Let me find
Show
what
up
events
here.
are happening. And you might meet anyone from Germany, from England, and all of that. So the first part is, first of all, knowing yourself, and of course, stepping into the opportunities that are around you, no matter how small or belittling they might seem.
Okay. Okay. So if you went for an event now
Yes.
and you say network, everybody network, Imoh, what would you do first? What would be
Uh,
your first step?
Again, who am I is what I'm going to tell someone. So that's why if you speak to someone, they can tell if you are being fake or not, because you're just trying to paint a picture. You're just trying to become something because they said, oh, network, and you say, oh, I'm a graphic designer. I've done 20 projects. Well, you have not even done one project, just because you're trying to paint a picture
Okay.
of who you are differently than who you really are. So if I am walking up to someone, I would first start with myself and say, oh, hi, I do this. I am this. And then what about you? Because the first part about knowing someone is listening. We do too much of talking than listening. But to know someone who they really are, you have to allow them speak.
Yeah.
Because when they speak, they might even go into areas you did not expect them to.
To speak on.
So listen more and speak less. That's has always been my guiding rule in networking, even when I did not realize that was a principle, is listen more. Once you're done talking, how you introduce yourself, what you do, what you don't do, just allow the other person to speak, because the conversation will naturally build from that point, and opportunities come when people speak freely.
Okay, so I was thinking you give us more like in-depth info, like maybe
Okay.
say your name, after say your name, ask the person something. For me, what I would tell people is first thing you should do if you don't know what to do after introducing yourself, give them a compliment.
Okay.
So, hi, you look
That
good. I
actually
like your
works.
earrings. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when you say that, they'll smile and they say, I see your teeth. It's so fine. So just give them compliments. Then maybe
Okay.
speak based on something happening around the
That's
environment.
what I wanted to
So
say.
what else?
That also really helps because you might be tensed. You might even start stammering and everything.
Like,
So use what music artists do. They love to pick inspiration from the environment, right? It doesn't
yes.
have to always be inborn. It can be
Yeah.
external, within and without. So you can talk about, oh, that speaker that said this thing and said that thing. What did you think about that? That is totally off your idea. That is not your idea. You don't have to think about what to say or how to craft it. It was someone else's idea, someone else's words. You just say, oh, this is what they said and this is how it came off to me. How did it come off to you? And the person will speak. So the pressure of I have to talk has been taken from you by maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. And again, what are you going to say next? What are you going to say next is going to be from what that person says. So it has to flow like a river, very, very not having to force it, because if it is forced, it will show on your face.
Okay, I still have a thing about that because
Okay.
I remember I've been at events and someone said, "Oh, the speaker said." Truth be told, speaker said it, but I was not so like into what the
Listening.
speaker was saying.
Okay.
So how would I answer such a question? The speaker said this and that. What do you think about it? In my head, I'm like, okay, sorry, I was not paying attention.
But do you say that out?
No, I do.
You have to,
I
because
do.
that's
I
the
have to be very
vulnerability.
honest because
Yes.
So for anyone listening, even though, just say something. Tell them either I wasn't listening that moment, I was quite distracted, or you know that. Just answer in a honest way. You don't know where that can take you. And
Yeah.
there's another thing about networking, I believe. You don't just network with mouth.
Yeah.
You network and keep something. So when
Yes.
I say keep something, collect something like number, phone numbers, email address,
Yeah.
or their card or something. You don't just, oh hi, we met here, and you now go and gist your friends and say, oh, I met this person here, but you
Yes.
don't have any contacts.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, am I not
No, no,
correct?
you're very correct. And I
Yeah.
would like to share one framework that has helped me in keeping contact. Because you attend an event, you get like 10 contacts, 5 contacts. It's very difficult to keep up with everyone.
Yeah, very,
Before you
yeah.
met those people, you already had like, let's say, 100 people in your life or X number of
120.
people. So what have I learned to do that has really helped change it for me is that if I meet you today, next thing I'm going to say is, oh, when can we have a clarity call? When can we have a sync? Right? It might be, and that's what people in the West say, oh, let's chat over coffee. Right? We don't drink coffee in
What
Nigeria,
you want
so
drink? Say
I
it's
can't, I
heat.
can't say, oh, let's chat over palm wine. So, but then we live in a digital world. So what
Yeah.
do I do mostly is, oh, let's have a sync, right? Oh, what time works for you? And one thing I've learned before I even say what time works for you is I tell you the time that works for me because psychologically I've already committed. So it's
Okay.
like, oh, this is my money. Where's your own money? By saying 3 p.m. Friday works for me, it forces you mentally to say, oh, I may not be free on Thursday, but I think I can be free 2 p.m. on Friday. But if I just say, oh, let me know what time was for you, it will never work for you.
True.
It's almost like I'm preaching, it will never work for you. So, but you have to commit. And before that fire of excitement dies after meeting that person, you have to like latch onto that feeling. Oh, let's have a call. Let's talk, or let's have a quick WhatsApp chat and everything. And you get to know more about the person
Yeah.
and understand what they are doing, what they are working on at that time, the project they're working on, maybe the things they have done in the past few weeks and all of that. And then who knows what opportunities always come out of that. And that's what has helped me in my own journey as well.
Yeah, thank you. Because there's also the thing of people collect numbers and keep
Yeah.
it as WhatsApp status viewers. I've seen such. You collect number immediately I post status, bam, the number one to see. So that shouldn't be the case.
Yes.
And there's also the thing of, I don't think some people understand what it means to network. So can you give us practical times when that networking you did helped you? So that
Wow.
people can know the benefits of really networking and keeping contact.
Wow. Thank you. Because I was listening to your previous episode,
You did?
yeah, of course, about where the guest spoke about having to pay for access or having to, if something is gated. By
Yeah.
that I mean if it's maybe they put a ticket on it and say, oh, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. Don't think about it as I'm paying for this. Think about it as I'm investing in this, right?
True.
So when you just shows you the power of words, once you switch that and say I'm investing in this, what does investment mean? It means you will get
You get a
returns.
return, yeah,
So
for sure.
once you think it that way, you would say, oh, I'm paying this ticket or I'm paying for this, but I'm going to get something in return.
Knowledge,
So a practical way that investing in relationship helped me last year was there was a particular course I paid for, to be specific, a grant writing course, right? And at that time, it wasn't the most comfortable thing to purchase
Okay.
because Nigeria is Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Right. So I paid for that.
Uh-huh.
And to be quite frank with you, I got more than what I paid for. The quality of the relationship, because we were separated into what we call group learning. So there were about 5 or 6 different groups in that particular course. And in one group, I am being put in with about 10 or 8 people.
Okay.
And of course, sometimes when you are active and everything, people just naturally push leadership to you, even when
yeah.
you were just trying to help coordinate things. So that's how they pushed group leadership to me. And even when I was given the position of assistant group leader, I was acting as though, not because I wanted to show body or whatever, but by the reason of the other person being absent and also very busy, I was being regarded as the group leader. We always had these weekly meetings where you would have to talk about your business because they would always give you projects. And when you work on that project, you have to defend that project.
Okay.
And so by the reason of always speaking, people get to know you and get to hear about you. So when the whole class ended and the course ended, I got clients from the school,
Amazing.
right? I got more than 5 clients from the school, well-paying clients, right? And don't forget, just to put some context, this is Imoh who was trying to move from low-paying clients to high-value clients, not just in how much they pay you, but how they treat you, the customer experience or the client experience. And one thing I've learned with networking is that the circle you belong is going to determine the quality of your experience.
True.
You can't work for, I don't want to say Dangote, but like you can't work for people in that class and they stress you so much because they already have the shortage of time. So they don't even have time to stress you, right? All they want is execution, result.
Yeah.
By the reason of that kind of people and working with them, it forces you to also be better. So I may have made money from those clients, but they also force me to be better, to be more excellent. And that has just blown to become better relationships for me. And so one thing I would tell people is pay for access, right? Invest in quality relationships and also do some things for free. Always do things for free. Don't chase money, chase people because money hurts in people, right? Value, pursue value, give value, and then money will follow you because money is only a means of exchange. If I give value to you, what do you pay me back with is money, right? Money is just a means of exchange of value. Right? So that's what I've tried to do is to chase relationships, see how I can help people, how I can solve problems for them, and then that's what has helped me grow and excel so far. And I still want to keep excelling.
For sure. So what do you do? How have you solved problems for people before we go?
I provide business solutions. I build businesses for people. I consult and help with company profiles. So the need always changes because every business rather has a different problem. So a certain business might be having problem with project management, managing their developers, their software team, and it's giving them headache. And they say, oh, please come and help us manage this team. Or you could have a creative studio and your photographers are just when guests come, you don't see them. And you want someone to help set up structure and systems to help keep people accountable and keep things transparent when you are not in the country. I help you build those systems. So the need is always changing with respect to what a client needs or what is the pressing challenge at that point in time.
All right. Thank you so much for being on this episode.
Thank
so much
you
for being a guest on this podcast. Before we go, we do something. It's a segment. You tell us the vibe for the episode. So the vibe means give us a song that should flow. When you listen to a podcast and you want to listen to a song that you can vibe with, that flows with the energy. So do you have anyone in mind?
I think I have an album, not not a song.
God, I beg.
I have an album, and that would be two. Can I give you two?
Imoh.
Let me give you two.
Okay.
So one is the album Soldier by Chike.
Chike.
Yes.
Chike, not Simi.
No, Chike.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And then the second one is the album I really love by T.Y. Bello, Heaven Has Come.
Heaven Has Come.
Yes.
We should vibe to that at the end of this episode.
Yes.
Okay, so which one should we pick now? We have to pick one song to play at the end of the episode. We just have to pick one. They should find those ones, but like a song has to be played at the end of the episode.
A song has to be played.
Yes. A line from a song or something. Just.
That's My Name.
That's My Name.
Yes. That's My Name by T.Y. Bello. Yes.
Okay. So That's My Name. That's My Name by
yes.
T.Y. Bello.
And you know it's beautiful because if you're connected with someone, you have to tell them your name. Right? So yeah, so it's very strategic.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for hosting me as well.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you are listening to me, yes, we are on YouTube. Search for us on YouTube at Gracie's podcast channel. You will see the segment for podcast that is for Grow and Glow podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to tell us what you think and the lessons you learned. And if you have any specific guests you want to see here on this show or topics, let me know. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Grow and Glow _podcast, and I will see you in the next episode. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.